Hi, I'm Ty, and this is Ty Types, my brand new AuthorTube channel, where basically I'm going to be bringing you all along on my journey as a teen who is trying her best to get used to writing and hopefully one day be able to publish something, really. Recently, I started another channel called Garden of Growth, which you can go see some of my videos over there. Basically, in there, which I have mentioned this in some of the videos, I was debating whether I wanted to get an AuthorTube channel or not. And I realized that over time, I wanted to talk about my projects, but I realized that it would be better if I were to actually make a channel dedicated to talking about these things because I have quite a lot to talk about when it's like coming into regard with my projects. And what I'm thinking for this video is that I'm going to introduce you to my currently only ongoing project, which on this channel I'm going to be calling Project SO. This is basically a romantasy with like elves and war vibes, basically. There's not, I don't know how to summarize it in short, but I'll be introducing some lore and backstory about it to you. And also, in this video, I'm going to be finishing draft 1 because for about a year, just to give you all some context, last summer, I spent about a month extensively plotting my book and its backstory. Originally, it was going to be a lot different. It wasn't even like, there was no romance in it really, but it kind of played out and it ended up being the story it is today. And I finished it near the end-ish of summer, and ever since then I've been on draft 1. Now at this point I've actually made it about 34,000 words into my draft, which for the first about like 75% of the novel I was like severely underwriting it, in the sense that especially my first few chapters were only about 3 pages. But now I'm doing much better on that front, which, although I'm not sure if my formatting is correct, I am trying to see how many pages are in it because I am noticing, especially when I look at other AuthorTube videos and especially in the context of fantasy, I genuinely don't understand how people can manage to overwrite a draft. Like, you'll see people with over 100,000 words, and I don't know how they do that. But I would like to get to a point where it's at least a substantial amount. So I'm thinking of doing that in the second draft of this novel, basically. But at the end of the day, I am still happy with the way that my writing has changed from the beginning to the end of this draft, especially because I feel like my writing in general has genuinely changed. But as a novel, it does need like a lot of work, in the sense that I do want to change it a lot, actually. I don't think I've mostly the writing craft I feel like is what I have a problem with, which I know it's a first draft, and if I'm being honest, it's my first ever draft that I'm doing ever. So I understand that it's not going to be that good, but I do tend to compare it to other like people's just to get like a gauge of where I'm at. And also even just like looking back, especially in the first 50% of the novel, when I would look back to read and find out exactly where I was, I would like basically get a jump scare every time because it was not good, to say the least. It was a situation where like I wouldn't think it was so bad while writing it, but then I would look back and it genuinely sounds like 8-year-old me could have wrote that. So yeah. Now when I am writing, I try to be more intentional with the words I'm putting down and try to make them more like good. But I'm hoping that when I revise it and change it to my liking and also find out how to do things like character voice, prose is something I really struggle with, a bunch of things like that. And I'm hoping that as revision continues, I'll be able to fix that. As I said, I'm about to finish my first draft. At a very low word count, yes, but I'm about to finish it anyway. Something else about this project is that recently I got like bored, and something I do sometimes when I'm bored is like I make like Pinterest boards and things for other book ideas because I have too many, if I'm being honest. And one of the ones I made, which I probably will be working on eventually, what I did with it is that I ended up making a Pinterest board, and then that led to me making a vision board, which I'll pull up somewhere on the screen. And also I have the characters that I made on Artreader, because I mean that's kind of the only way I know how to get the characters, which actually I am enjoying it. And the issue is that although I've done that with a book that I have not started writing and I have not even plotted, I have Pinterest boards for my two main characters in Project SO, and I have a Pinterest board for the novel in general. However, I don't have a vision board, so small things like that I'm gonna do. And I'm also going to just give you some context about the plot, as I said earlier, while I'm doing the other things and getting closer and closer to the end of the draft. So that's what I'm planning on doing in this video. And actually, this is the first video for this channel, so hi. And this, I guess, can serve as an introductory as well to me as like a writer. I've been wanting to join AuthorTube since, I mean, it's been a few months, because when I was in school, I was way too busy to start an actual channel. But now, luckily, I'm in a situation where I'm less busy. Like last school year, it was super busy. I did not have the time. And now I'm hoping that I'll be able to find the time to actually manage these two channels. I'm not going to be posting so often. I'm posting once a month on this channel, once a month on the other one. And hopefully I'll make it to a place where I'll be able to manage both. And something I really wanted to join AuthorTube for is because of like the community. I had a time especially where I had the like November writing challenge of 2024, where I ended up feeling like really lonely as a writer, and I felt like I had no one to actually talk to. At the time, there was one person that, like one friend I had who I would explain things to, or like, well, it was her and her sister actually, and I explained those things to her. I had friends over times that I have explained this plot to, but it's changed a lot now, and I'm in a situation where I don't really know anyone who's in the trenches of what I'm trying to do. So here there's a really, like, I feel like AuthorTube has a really like close-knit community, and I actually like love that. It's genuinely like so sweet. For example, for the last few days I've been on a spree basically of watching AuthorTube content, and it's actually really like nice seeing the amount of like community and the fact that like everyone is basically best friends with each other. But yeah, I think that community aspect of it is something that really pushed me to want a YouTube channel. Also, I have an excuse to talk about my book and my book ideas on a regular basis. And also, it forces me basically to write, because what happened is that I don't know if I started writing the actual draft in the summer, but then I ended up continuing over into November, because I decided to try to draft 15,000 words in the month of November, which I managed to do. But then for the rest of the school year last year, I did not do that. Like, I literally did not touch the document, like, basically ever. And I've only picked it up recently, where I've been writing very rarely throughout the summer. But recently, I've actually picked it up consistently. And I'm hoping that, like, for the school year, I can still maintain writing at least like once a week, because realistically I get really, really busy with school, but I actually want to make progress. Now, after I finish this draft, my plan actually is to shelf this project, and the reason for that is that since I'm unhappy with the draft, I realized that probably I need to increase like my level of writing craft by practice. And so I want to probably try to do another 1 or 2 first drafts before I actually get into editing, so that I can have enough experience in writing to actually improve. Because I feel like in editing, it's basically going to feel like, at least that's what I think it's going to feel like, because I've never actually edited, not even finished the first draft, let alone edited actually. I don't want to be in a situation where I am basically just like trying my best to think of something that sounds good, but nothing's coming to me. Also, the book needs some developmental changes and other things. However, I would prefer to just like shelf it for like a good while until I actually become better at writing in general. When I feel like I'm in a more confident place with first drafts and they feel stronger, I think that it will probably be better to get a stronger second draft. So that's my plan, and I'm gonna take you along with me. This is a very long intro, so I'm actually gonna get to the vlogging part. The first thing I'm gonna go do is make a vision board. So first of all, this is what like the Pinterest board looks like. I'm just gonna put it over here to the side so that you can basically see it. It's pretty well, like I'm happy with that. And I'm just gonna turn it into a vision board basically on Canva. So I'm gonna go do that quickly, and probably the next time I talk to you will not be after that, but I will update you. In the draft, I have about 2 chapters left, maybe. I think maybe like the one I'm on and 2 chapters left, which is going to be like, 32 chapters, I think, in total. But yeah, we'll see how that goes, and I will update you when I have news, basically.
You show up like a fever every time I try to heal. I delete the thread, then I'm typing how I feel. Said we're over, then your name lights up my screen. You're the sweetest kind of venom in a love I can't unsee. I know the dosage is too high, but I keep sipping you like wine. Every kiss a warning sign, I let it slide every time. You're my syndrome, I relapse, I fall. I forget the fire when...
Hi, well, it's been probably about a week since I've last spoken to you all. Basically, what has happened is that I'm in school now, so for the past few days I haven't been able to write because, I was getting used to school routine and it was pretty busy, even though I wasn't really doing much. It was like also telling my mom what happened in my day. We had to go buy stationery as well because you end up needing a lot of that. At least in my case, every school year I have to buy so much stationery. But that happened, and now I'm here. It's the weekend right now. It's Saturday. And basically, I already studied and did schoolwork this morning, and all I have tomorrow is something small for physics. But since I've studied today, I'm off for the rest of the day. I don't have any more school things to do. I was going to do more, but I'm taking the rest of the day off. So yeah. But basically, as for what I'm going to do today, I first of all need to wash my hair today because it's about time that I go wash my hair. So I need to get to that. My hair does need to be washed, even though I'm gonna be honest, it looks better when it's not washed because then it will get really frizzy and does not look good for like the first 1 to 2 days after I wash it. But yeah, so I need to go wash my hair, and also for the rest of the day I don't really have anything to do. So probably either today or tomorrow I'll actually get to writing. As for updates on my writing itself, since basically I kind of, in a way, I finished the climax, but for me, I'm going to need a bit of additional scenes after the climax. I basically just finished it last time I wrote, and I made it quite a emotional scene for the characters, and it was actually really sweet. I'm enjoying it. I feel like there was a place in probably in the middle leading up to the third act of the story. I was not feeling confident about it at all, which I still think it needs a lot of reworking, but I'm much happier with it because I feel like my writing has definitely changed a lot actually from the beginning of the book to now. So that is a good feeling that I'm actually happy with what I'm putting out. Now I know that probably if I look back on it, I'll realize that it's not the best. I'm not an experienced writer. This is my first ever draft,
and luckily I am making it to the very end. So yeah, all I have basically is the follow-up scenes to the climax, basically what happens as a result of the climax. So probably I have like 2 chapters left, and then I'll be able to finish the story. I am going to start a different draft after this. I'm not gonna do a second draft of the manuscript so far, because I want to get enough writing experience where I feel like, okay, my writing skill has improved enough to change the story, not just on like a developmental level. I've already thought of some things on the developmental like aspect that need to happen. For example, the beginning of the story, I jumped straight into the inciting incident, especially for one of my POVs, which, oh my goodness, it's actually so loud outside. I am sorry about that, but it was raining. Like, it's raining today, which is really nice, which is why I might end up writing, because it's the perfect weather. And I remember back when, like, last year when I first started writing my manuscripts, which was around this time of year, it started raining where I'm at, because this is about the time where rain starts. And I remember every time it would start raining, I would just pull out my laptop and just start typing, and it was such a nice feeling. I would just like open the window and sit in front of the window. It was really uncomfortable because I didn't have a table in front of me. I just sat on a chair in front of the window, but I really wanted to just have the rain sound in front of me and just like I wanted to just have that scenery in front of me, because I do not live in a particularly nice place. So at least having something to look at is nice, and I used to do that last year. And since I don't think it's raining anymore, but since it is still a gloomy day, I think that would be really nice to write in. But yeah, basically the cars passing by like that are really loud today. I don't think the window is open. I'm pretty sure it's closed. And also I think it's thundering outside. So basically it's full of sound outside, and you can probably hear it in the recording. But besides from that, as I was saying, after I finish the manuscript, I'm starting a different draft of a different story. And I'm actually realizing that this is basically the perfect time, because as of the time of recording this, I know that by the time I finish my draft, a little bit after, maybe, or something around the area, I'm not sure exactly when it is that I'm going to finish the draft, but yeah, when I do, it will probably be around October, which would mean that I can go for Preptober. Because last year I did do the the November writing challenge. I wrote 15K, which was the most I've ever written. Like, that's very much not normal for me, and I don't know how I did that. But I'm gonna try to do it again this year. And so I thought that it would be a nice thing, like really good timing, if I finish this manuscript, and then during the month of October I'll be planning out my a new manuscript for a new project. And then I have November where I start it, and then hopefully then a few months later I'll actually finish that draft. But besides the point, that's basically what my plan is for the next 2 months, because I am still in September. Basically that's what I'm planning on doing for like the time being. So I'm gonna bring you along on the next few days, where I'm probably going to get really close to the ending. I don't know if I'll talk to you again before I actually finish, but I'll see. So yeah, basically, I'll talk to you whenever I have updates. So yeah, bye-bye.
You're the cycle I can't break, the ache I crave. You're my favorite pain, and I love it that way. Midnights when the silence starts whispering your name, I draw a line in the sand, then I trace it back.
Well, hey, it's quite a bit later on in the day. I'm back from the party that I had, and I've been actually home for a few hours now. And basically, I've decided that to end of the day, I think I'm probably gonna do one more writing sprint and then head off to bed. As for what I'm gonna be working on after the draft, me and my mom, like, we talked a bit about it, and she suggested that we both look through the first draft, and like, if I find it to be too much for me to like be able to fix, and I feel like too overwhelmed about it, and I just feel like I don't have the experience, and I'll move on to something else and just like pick it up later on. So that's nice to know. But yeah, basically I wrote I believe like 602 words, and yeah, I think I'm gonna go for like one more writing sprint, and then I'm gonna get ready for bed. So yeah. Also, I'm currently recording 2 vlogs at once, so I guess I'm gonna be having the same clips in 2 vlogs, because basically, change of scenery, as you probably noticed, I'm sitting on the couch, and I'm after this also going to go basically give updates on my weekend vlog, which should be coming out soon, probably before this, because I don't know if I'm gonna, like, I don't think I'm gonna finish the manuscript this weekend, but the vlog will be finished this weekend. So yeah, but I'm gonna go do that now and then get to the writing sprint.
We talk like strangers, just to burn like matches. And I'm always the ashes, left clinging to your lashes. I swore I'd leave you in the past, but you pull me like a photograph. Faded smile, but I come back like it never hurt that bad. You're my syndrome, I relapse, I fall, I forget.
Why, hello there. It's around 5:59 p.m. It's currently November 2nd. I haven't written in several weeks, so I might finish the draft tonight. Depend on like how long I stay on a call, if I do get on a call. I'm not sure exactly. I'll figure it out.
When I hear you call, you're the cycle I can't break, the ache I crave. You're my favorite pain, and I love it that way. Doctor said get clean, but you're stitched into my bloodstream. You're the silence in my screams, the ghost in all my dreams. I could run, I could hide, but I'd still tell you every time. 'Cause you're not gone, you're a symptom I survive. You're my syndrome, I relapse, I fall, still chasing closure down your endless hole. You're the cycle I can't break, the ache I crave. You're my beautiful poison, and I love it that way.
It's not love. It's a syndrome.
I chase the wind just to hear it laugh, a silver thread through the summer trees. The world felt lighter under its spell, like gravity paused to watch me breathe. I balanced dreams on a tightrope sky, with clouds applauding every step. The sun tossed glitter across the field, and the dirt forgot it once was dirt. A paper star sailed in my hands, teaching me how small things glow. the time, then whimsy is how we cheat the rules. Happiness hums in the offbeat places, waiting for the brave and the fools.
Oh my goodness, guys. I finished the draft. It's done. It's ready. What in the world? Today I realized that if I did one more writing session, I would finish the first ever draft I've ever written. And I went in for that session and I did in fact finish my draft. We had some technical difficulties in the middle of it where all of the text disappeared. Luckily, I did have several copies, but I managed to find the version with the words I had already written during the session. So I managed to salvage everything. That's insane. I did in fact tear up and wake up my mom from her sleep just to tell her, sorry mom, because I know you're watching this. I did in fact tear up, yes. That was over a year of my life completed. I have gone on and off with writing like a lot, and it's a very, very short draft, especially for fantasy. But I am really, really proud of myself for finishing my first draft ever that I've attempted to write fully. I have managed to do that, and like genuinely I'm so proud of myself for actually pushing through and doing that. And there was genuinely a time where I was not fond of the story, but now I love these characters so much, and it's like, oh my goodness. I only finished a few minutes ago, and it's like, wow, I'm done. I'm supposed to be taking like a break from this novel that I've been set on for actually longer than a year. I think it's been like 2 or 3 years that I've been set on this novel, and now I'm not exactly sure where I'm going to go. It's November, so I'm going to try to draft 15,000 words as I did last year, because I don't have the time to do a full 50,000. But like, I might not be drafting with these characters anymore, and they're the only characters I've ever known. Which, oh my goodness. I did, in fact, just, oh my god, actually crazy. When I wrote the end page, I just kind of stood there for a good 15 to 30 seconds staring, because like, unbelievable. I wrote a full draft. So yeah, that story is written down. It exists in fully fledged. Oh my, okay, wait. Before I sound like a broken record, which I probably already do, I have a bit of the start, like I have the start of a writing journal, and I had put in some statistics to fill in for when I finished my first draft. So let's go fill those in together, cause I finished it. Yeah, I filled those in. I think I also need to write some final thoughts on the draft, but for context, just to like read them out to you. I have a total of 33 chapters, finishing on the date of 2nd November in the year 2025 on a Sunday, with 229 pages and a word count of 40,364 words, with the whole entire draft taking me a total of 411 days from the date of creation. So yeah, crazy, insane. I guess that's where I'm going to leave it for here. Thank you so very much for watching through my first official video on this channel. Speaking of which, if you want to see more from me, visit my main channel, which is Garden of Growth, where I share more of my personal and day-to-day life as a student, so you can also find me there. So yeah, I really hope to see you next time with whatever ends up happening with my writing. Yeah, God bless you all and see you very soon. Bye bye.